Psychological theories. There are many different psychological models of criminal behavior, ranging from early Freudian notions to later cognitive and social psychological models. I cannot review them all here. Instead, I will just list the several fundamental assumptions that are there in the psychological theories of criminality. These are: the individual is the primary unit of analysis in psychological theories. Personality is the major motivational element that drives the behavior within individuals. Normality is generally defined by social consents. Crimes then would result from abnormal, dysfunctional, or inappropriate mental process within the personality of the individual. Criminal behavior may be purposeful for the individual insofar as it addresses certain felt needs. Defective or abnormal mental process may have a variety of causes, that is, diseased mind, inappropriate learning, or improper conditioning, the emulation of inappropriate role models, and adjustment to inner conflicts. The last assumption to the psychological model will suggest that a variety of different causes or reasons exist for criminal behavior, and the general principle targets at the individual would be effective for crime control. However, the model also assumes that there is a subset of a psychological criminal type defined currently as antisocial personality disorder in the DSM 4 and previously defined as the sociopath of or psychopath. This type of criminal exhibits deviant behavior early in life and is associated with self centeredness, a lack of empathy, and a tendency to see others as tools for their ends. Controls for these individuals would be more extreme and general. Public policies may not be stagnant enough to curb the behavior in this small subset of criminals. So, the principles to establish psychological explanations of criminal behavior, it suggests first that traditional imprisonment, fines, and other court sanctions are based on operant learning models of behavior for crime control. Operant learning models are based on the utilitarian concept that all people wish to maximize pleasure and minimize pain or discomfort. Skinnerian based social psychological theories of reinforcement and punishment are influential in this model of criminal control, although the idea of punishment for crime has a much longer history. Technically speaking, punishments are any sanctions designed to disease a specific behavior. Thus, fines, jail sentences, etc., are all forms of punishment. However, Skinner himself recognized that punishment was generally ineffective in behavior modification and that reinforcement worked better. So, a caveat should be applied here. Punishment is effective if applied properly, but unfortunately, it rarely is applied properly. Punishment needs to be immediate and inescapable, and in and sufficiently unpleasant. The more it is subjectively perceived as harsh, the better it is. Given the judicial system in the US, it would be hard to apply punishment to its maximal effectiveness. Thus, it is not an effective deterrent, as reflected in the stable homicide rates of states that carry the death penalty. Nonetheless, punishments and sanctions for criminal behavior are based on behavioral psychological principles. Because harsh forms of punishment do not appear to significantly decrease recidivism rates, other psychological principles have been applied in terms of cognitive behavior psychological principles, rehabilitation and relearning, retraining, or educational programs for offenders are forms of psychological based methods to control crime. These methods are based on cognitive behavior methods of teaching an alternative functional response in place of a formally dysfunctional one as opposed to simple punishment. These programs can take place in prisons or outside of prison and have long been demonstrated to be successful. So, any form of retraining, re education, or re entry guidance is based on psychological principles of criminality and reform. However, rehabilitation programs are often rarely implemented in jail or prison. Many of these programs appear to be specially beneficial for drug and alcohol offenders. Likewise, any form education such as the DARE program and recent efforts to curb bullying in schools are based on these methods. In line with this, changing the environment of the offender, such as providing more opportunities, would be a psychological behavior principle designed to cut crime. Now, in line with other psychological methods, there are policies aimed at maintaining a visible presence of law enforcement and methods to maintain self awareness in tempting situations. Such methods are preventative. For instance, it has been a well known social psychological principle that situations that diminish self consciousness and self awareness lead individuals to being less restrained, less self regulated, and more likely to act without considering the consequences of their actions. The simple act of placing mirrors in stores can increase self awareness and decrease shoplifting. Likewise, the presence of a visible law enforcement can cut down on crime, making sanctions and consequences for crime well publicized and available to the public in is another psychological method to control crime in this way. Various forms of criminal profiling are based heavily on psychological principles and represent an effort to either apprehend existing criminals or to identify persons at risk for certain behavior. More recently, there have been efforts to develop methods to identify individuals at risk for certain form of deviant behavior, including criminal activities based on personality and social variables. These psychological variables can be identified in the school or at the home at an early age and include such disorders as learning disabilities, ADHD, depression, and others. Since many individuals with these problems often go on to demonstrate criminal behavior or have legal problems later, efforts to identify and treat these issues are forms of psychological crime control policies. Thus, methods of crime control policies based on psychological principles target the individual and attempt to reform or prevent criminal behavior from that perspective. Any policies requiring the therapeutic intervention, retraining, or education are psychological in nature. Any policy designed at preventing crime by targeting individuals, such as raising consciousness, promoting best predictor or future behavior, is individuals' past behavior. So, policies that are especially designed to deal with repeat offenders are also based on the psychological principles of the criminality. That's all. Thank you.